3rd down and 7. They backed him up a yard. From the 9-yard line of Trinity Christian for All Saints. Batista's in the backfield. Play action. Throw out and nearly intercepted, nearly caught in a huge lick laid on Montarian Money Parks.
They tried to run that. They tried to run a little smash concept out there, and the corner played off. He played off, and when he saw the ball being thrown to the corner, well, there's a penalty, and that should have been thrown.
And that was
a lick. That was a head-to-head lick, and that should have been thrown right there.
Yeah, defenseless wide receiver.
If we have that replay, you watch him too. He goes and tries to put his helmet up under his chin. That's a good call.
And that would be the 2nd call of the night on Shiloh Sanders from the corner position.
You wonder if that's going to get him thrown out of this game, Ken. Well, he led with his shoulder. He did lead with his shoulder, but a defenseless receiver. And they calling holding.
The Saints.
Well, they're calling now a personal foul on All Saints.
Wow.
So it would have been offsetting if they had called a personal foul, unnecessary roughness on Sanders and the Tigers, but no, a personal foul called on All Saints.
I wonder if that's a coming off the bench, and we're going to have a talk here with the officials, because we are not on the same page here with what's happening.
And personal foul called on All Saints. And I was waiting for some sort of offsetting. No. Okay. 36 seconds remain. It's a 4th and 22. Saints are lined up in an offensive set. Rolling right. Clark Hillman now running for his life and is taken down. And at the 28-yard line, that'll give, well, reasonable field position with 29 seconds remaining in this explosive group of Trinity Christian players.
Yeah. They were not going to let him. They tried to roll it outside, kind of get him in the open field, but neither one of the defensive ends are going to let that happen, and they're hard up the field. And that's what Trinity does. They get those ends hard up the field.
So, Stretch, was that a concerted effort for an offensive play, or was that at some point Hillman was going to try to boot it a little bit rugby style, and that just never materialized?
No, I think he was trying to get out there and see if he could get in the open field and maybe get somebody run into green grass to throw a deep shot there before the half. No reason to punt. They don't have any timeouts. You just got to keep the ball in front of you here.
28 seconds left to go in the second, and with a 10-point lead, Shador Sanders fires it out near side and completes. That is Marquise Buford for a gain that'll take him out to the 41-yard line, and more importantly, out of bounds, stops the clock, 22 ticks left.
Yeah, and that's Sanders in coverage. He gets him out of bounds. They do not have a timeout. You need to get him. All Saints needs to get somebody on the ground here and let the clock run.
From their own 41, empty backfield. Sanders looking right, throws right, fires it down the field. Perfect spiral and just short, but flags will fly. And putting his palms up is Christian Fell, the 6', 188-pound transfer from Pascal Senior in the secondary for All Saints.
And that's what happens a lot of times when that ball is underthrown. You know, that ball gets underthrown, that receiver will stop, that defensive back will run into him, and they'll call PI there. Watch him stop and kind of hit the brakes. You got the safety in the corner there. Boy, I didn't see much. That's a booty butt
pass
call
intended
right
on the play for Brandon Buckhalter.
It's 15 yards.
Well, I don't know what they tell them on the high school level, but certainly, I know they say in the NFL and college, if you're in the secondary, you at least at that moment have to turn your head and play the ball.
Boy, how far are they marching this off, Ken? This group is having an unbelievable hard time of marching the penalty off. It's a 15-yard penalty at this level.
So from the 41, it should go for the 44. And, okay, that's where we ultimately rest. 15 seconds left to go in the first half. A 10-point Tigers lead, 24-14. They want more. Being pressured from the edge. There's all sorts of flags on the far side. This play will most likely not count, even though Sanders takes it all the way to the 22-yard line out of bounds.
I don't know if it's somebody lining up offsides or an illegal formation, Ken.
Well, there was also a block in the back on the near side, too, and been all sorts of shenanigans perhaps called on the offensive line, but that did run off 9 seconds off the clock, and we now rest at 6 seconds remaining. But Shedeur Sanders, for what it's worth, depending on how much is walked off or who this is called on, has an arm that can, you can go Hail Mary with him. That's a false start. Well, all right, good old garden variety. False start after all we've seen so far.
Yeah, they're going to bring this now. Now, if my math does me right, from the 44, the 5 should be the 49. Let's see if they get this right.
The scoreboard has it right, so.
We'll see if they can get this right.
It is treacherous out there. It is a bayou of sorts, and that was during warm-ups when you and I were walking on the field.
Yeah, there's a concern. Now, right here, All Saints needs to stay deep here, keep everything up in front of him. You got 6 seconds. I'm not sure if he's got the arm to get this ball to the end zone. There we go. They back out. All Saints backs out. Now, don't let this back get it either. You got to come up and play. They're going to try to max protect this and get him on the edge.
Pressured, rolling, and that's the end of the half, and Sanders is content with running towards his sideline. Well, being dubbed Game of the Week in many publications around North Texas, we got a good one on our hands. And we'll have the third quarter coming up after this brief timeout of halftime. 24-14. Trinity Christian Cedar Hill Tigers lead going into the locker room over the Fort Worth All Saints. We'll be back for the start of the third quarter in 23 minutes.